Have you ever noticed how after a bad night of sleep, everything feels harder? Your thoughts feel slower, your mood is off, and suddenly tiny things start to annoy you way more than they should. For a long time, I thought being tired was just a part of college life, especially since I balanced school, classes, and working night shifts. But the more I lived it, the more I researched it, and I realized something important. Being tired isn't just about it being an inconvenience. It's your body showing that it's something off. For my presentation today, I'm going to be talking about the power of sleep, your body's night shift. Sleep isn't just doing nothing. It's actually very important. It's a very important biological process where your body and brain recovers, repairs, and restarts for the next day. A lot of college students don't get enough sleep. Studies show that over 1/3 of college students sleep less than 7 hours per night, which can affect their health and performance. Sleep is very important because it strengthens your immune system, improves your brain function, and helps with your emotional stability. In this presentation, I'm going to explain how sleep impacts three main areas: your physical health, your mental performance, and your emotional regulation. I chose this topic because as a college student and healthcare worker, sleep isn't always guaranteed for me. I've seen how lack of sleep affects my own mood, focus, and even how I treat other people when I'm tired. I also use peer-reviewed scientific research to support what I'm talking about today. So I'm going through three main points: sleep in your immune system, sleep in brain performance, and sleep in emotional and mental health. Now let's see how sleep affects your immune system. This first graph shows how the risk of catching a cold increases when sleep decreases. On the far left, you can see that people that get 7 hours plus of sleep have about a 17% chance of catching a cold. And as sleep decreases, the risk goes up. At 6 to 7 hours, you have about 22.7%. At 5 to 6 hours, you have about 30%. And then at 5 or less hours, the risk jumps up to 45.2%. So in total, the less sleep that you get, the weaker your immune system becomes. Sleep allows your body to produce proteins called ketones, which help fight infections, reduce inflammation. But when you don't sleep enough, your body doesn't make many of them, which make it harder to defend itself. That explains on why you're stressed and sleep deprived, you catch colds more often. For someone like a healthcare worker, this is especially dangerous because you're around sick patients all day. And even for students, being sick can affect grades, attendance, and energy levels. Now let's talk about the brain. This graph shows how sleep affects performance over a 2-week period. The bottom line with the black squares represent people getting 8 hours of sleep. Their performance stays pretty steady. The middle line represents people getting 6 hours of sleep. You can see their performance start to slowly decline. But the top line, this is when people are getting 4 hours of sleep. The number of mistakes rapidly increase over time. This study shows that someone thinks that they're just used to being tired, but their brain is actually performing worse and worse each day. Sleep is critical for memory, learning, and decision making. When you sleep, your brain processes information and stores it. Without sleep, the process gets interrupted. This is why people who are severely sleep deprived often show slower reaction times, trouble focusing, and poor judgment, similar to how it looks when someone is intoxicated. For students, this affects test scores and studying. For healthcare workers, this can be detrimental to a patient. Now let's talk about mental and emotional health. These two graphs show how sleep affects psychological distress and life satisfaction. On the left graph, you can see that psychological distress is highest when people sleep around 4 to 5 hours per night. It decreases as sleep increases, especially around 7 to 9 hours. On the right graph, you can see that life satisfaction is at its lowest with little sleep and peaks around 8 hours of sleep. This means that too little sleep increases stress and anxiety and emotional instability, and getting enough sleep improves mood and life satisfaction. This is why when you're tired, you're more emotional, more irritated, or more overwhelmed. Sleep helps regulate stress hormones like cortisol, without sleep, those stress hormones stay elevated, making everything feel more intense. Long-term sleep loss has been linked to anxiety and depression, so people say mental health starts with sleep, they're not exaggerating. So, when you really think about it, sleep is doing a lot more than just making you feel less tired. It strengthens your immune system and it protects your brain from making mistakes. And it stabilizes your emotions. That's why sleep is truly your body's night shift, working while you rest, repairing what was used up during the day. Now I want you to think about how often we sacrifice sleep for things that probably are not as important as we think. Staying up on your phone, procrastinating homework, and even binge watching shows, which I'm guilty of. So the question I want to leave you with is losing sleep tonight really worth how you will feel tomorrow? I hope after hearing this, you don't see sleep as something optional, but as something your body depends on. Thank you for your time.